Greetings. Greetings, and greetings. If you just tuning in, could you just share so we have many people to join us? And my name is Fulton Daniel. I will be speaking here from the great state of Texas. And if you are just tuning in, and I want to thank you for taking off your time and join me today this wonderful day. And here again, my name is Funton Daniel. I will be speaking live from the great state of Texas. And once again, uh, you can always get me in from Facebook and YouTube and the Twitter. So those are the several ways you can get me live. And I will be speaking here from the great state of Texas. And I want to take a moment to thank you for joining me this this afternoon. And we will be getting our guest will be speaking to us live from Belgium. And And we have Roselle, thank you for taking all your time. Alexander, thank you for taking all your time. Brazil, Basil or Basindi, thank you. I know I have so many friends too on the YouTube, and I have friends also on on the Twitter account, and I want to take a moment to thank you. And I will be speaking here from the great state of Texas about the issues affecting the Southern Cameroon territory. And it is very, very important. And thank you, Roland, for, I may not be able, but I can read the messages. So if you're just joining us, just share so we have many people to join us. And wherever you are, and thank you again for tuning in. Just share so we have many people to join us as well. And thank you again. If you just join in and just share so we have many people to tune in, and we're going to be discussing important issues affecting the Southern Cameroon territory. I know many of you have seen the images that I have posted on my Facebook, and it is that issues that we will be talking about. And I want to thank all of you that are taking off your time. I'm able to tune this afternoon. Is 14:09 Eastern Standard Time here in the United States and in Texas. And wherever you are, just indicate below where you are joining me, and I will be glad to see. Just indicate the area. If you are here from the United States, just indicate that you're here in the United States. If you are in Europe, if you are in ground zero, or you are in South America, you are in India, you are in China, or you are in any part of the world, just indicate below, and I will be glad to see where my audience are. It is important that you join me, and we will be talking very important issues affecting the Southern Cameroon territory. It is a very unfortunate, but however, it is we must expose all these evil deeds that are perpetrated against a certain about the community. But I'm glad that you were able to take off your time and join me. And I will be speaking here live from the great state of Texas. And thank you so much for joining in. And here again, my name is Funton Daniel. Oh, well, we have someone directly from Australia. That's wonderful. I'm glad to have you right from Australia. And I thought they may be sleeping, but they are still awake right in Australia. Thank you so much. Just leave a little bit of note. I know where you are, and I thank you again so much. And so, oh, let me see. Oh. And want to take a moment. And another important things that we often is you can also get me live on YouTube. So go to the YouTube and also subscribe. And so that it will help us to be able to send all these important messages all globally. So it is important that if you happen to be on YouTube, just subscribe and let me know. And I will also watching. And thank you so much. Um, and we have, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so I have someone that I just subscribed. Finland. We have someone, Wilson from Finland. And okay. And and okay. And I did talk to you that we will be having one guest that will be joining us. Some guests that will be joining us from Belgium. And while we're working on that connection to get, it's Doris. She will be joining us from live from Belgium. And it is important that we have her. And as soon as the connection is established, we then proceed. And I want to thank you. Uh, Thank you for joining me, and it is a thank you so much. You are so wonderful, and you know, I know many of you are so eager. Just share. If you just happen to join in, just share. So we have many people to join us and let them understand that we will be having very important deliberation here. And I am so proud to have you guys. And it is very important that we talk about the issues that fascinating the Southern Cameroon territory. You know, it is a very, very, very. Oh, we have one person joining us from Germany. Thank you so much. And if you just joining in, just indicate exactly where you are. And I'm being so proud to have you. And it is very, very important. And watching from Moscow. Oh my God. Oh, it's very fascinating. We have one audience from Moscow, that's Russia. And thank you again. And we are so proud that you were able to join us today. And we will be talking about the issues affecting the Southern Cameroon. Southern Cameroon, or now called the Federal Republic of Ambazonia, has become a sovereign nation. Let me see. What is. Sorry, I don't know why. For some reason, she is not. Uh, for some reason, Doris is not. I don't know, but we will see why. What is happening? And as soon as she is joining us, and uh Philon from Evelyn Tech. Oh, wonderful. That's so wonderful. We still having trouble adding Doris from Belgium, but as soon as she joined us, and she might not be live on the YouTube, but she will also be communicating. And I want to take a moment. I don't know why she's we having trouble to add. Let me see why. We're still having trouble adding Doris. Uh, we're still having difficulty adding Doris, which is our guest. She will be joining us from Belgium. Uh, let's see. For some reason, Doris from Nigeria. Oh, that's wonderful. We have it said it declined. Let me see. Okay, let's see what happens. And we don't know why, but it's still saying it declined Nick, bring Nick, and we'll be trying to get in touch. There is a communication problems to get hold of Doris Nick from Belgium and to join us live. And we will try to reestablish the connections with Doris again. And I don't know why the problems of connections is getting difficulty to establish with Doris Nick. And I will make another attempt and see what happens. but for some reason I can't. You, uh, Nick, you can follow me. You can write comment on the. I'm sending you text. You can follow me through text and see why it's happening. And that is why, because I am live and I can't interrupt people who are already connected. So you can send me a message through the text as a text below. I don't know if you have that access as well, but sorry that we can't get connections. But in the meantime, I think we don't have to keep our listener searching, because it says it's a decline. I don't know why it has declined, but we're gonna start and we will re-establish again with Doris, and Doris from Belgium. So she was and first, before we proceed, I will still make an effort to see if I could be able to get in touch with Doris from Belgium. She was supposed to join us and will be speaking live, but unfortunately, it's difficult to establish that connection. But however, I want to take a moment to thank all of you that have taken this opportunity and for joining us live on these issues, the quest for Southern Cameroon sovereignty. And my name is Funton Daniel, and I will be speaking here live from the great state of Texas. I understand that all of us, where we are, we have been struggling for the sovereignty of the Southern Cameroon, and Southern Cameroon that has now called the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. So, but before we proceed again, I want to take a moment to thank the President of the United States. I want to take a moment to thank the U.S. Congress. Our U.S. Congress is a very important body here in the United States. It is a body that is responsible for the laws that govern these great nations. And this great nation is governed by the rules of law. And the law is the foundations in which allow us the opportunity to work. And U.S. Congress is a very, very important body in these great nations of ours called United States. And we have the Senate also. They work together in collaboration with the U.S. Congress. And I want to take a moment to thank the U.S. Secretary of State, Tilson, and he has been doing a wonderful job. And I want to take a moment to thank the U.S. Department of Defense. And I want to take a moment to also thank Nikki Haley, who is a permanent representative to the United Nations. And this has been a very important body that are working behind the scene to ensure that the Southern Cameroon gets its independence. And the Southern Cameroon is not actually gaining independence, it's simply restore what was already an independent country. And this was done during in 1961. And La Republique, whom we have, is a very recalcitrant to be able to hold on our territory. And that is why all of us, wherever you are, wherever you are an ambassador of this Southern Cameroon in that particular jurisdiction. You don't have to have a designated or signature. By virtue of that, you are in that country, you are an ambassador of Southern Cameroon, and you have the jurisdiction to present the case of the Southern Cameroon to that nation of the Federal Republic of Ambazonian. And so because you are the son and daughters of this important place, don't expect someone to designate you, because you are already an ambassador. And so you stand the chance to present the crisis of the Southern Cameroon to the world body, because they We have United Nations, which I keep on pounding on because has failed on its duty. But before I will proceed, I want to take a moment for us, for many of us to join to pray for uh, uh, Marie Frida, Marie Frida Dumu, Marie Frida Dumu. She was burnt alive. She was burnt alive, and it is very, 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 very. It is painful when you have La Republique sending his soldiers and they are destabilizing the people of Southern Cameroon. And when you find this Mami Frida Dumu, she was burned alive in Bakundu. I don't know if it happened last night, but all I do know that she was burnt in her home. And it is very, 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 very pertinent, not to me, but to the people of the Southern Cameroon. When a mother was burnt alive in his home, including all the property that she has all invested. And it is very, very painful. And however, we pray for Mami Frida Dumu, and from Bakundu, it is very, very, very painful. And that is why I am presenting this case for this day, that the body that's supposed to take responsibility hasn't done that job. And that is why I am presenting this case to the United States government, to the United States authority, to the government that I believe that they have the duty and legal to carry on these actions against the perpetrator. And even though they don't want to acknowledge, but because they believe that they have the control over the Southern Cameroon territory. And that is why this mother are living in their home, and we have an invader, which is La Republique du Cameroon, that has invaded the Southern Cameroon and carry on destruction on the Southern Cameroon territory. And La Republique has no legal authority over the people of Southern Cameroon. And that is why this evil going on is being being ratified by the United Nations, because they have failed to absolutely question La Republique's legality over the Southern Cameroon territory. And I'm speaking here because I am speaking to the people of the United States. I am speaking to the people of the world. I am speaking to the people of the European descent. I am speaking here because it affects the people. Because when you sit in your home and you find an invader come into your home and brutally murder people that they have no legal authority over the sovereignty of the Southern Cameroon. Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. Southern Cameroon, I am questioning if British is aware of what unfinished duty that they haven't accomplished. And I am directing this case to the British Prime Minister Theresa May. If you're watching this video, if you have the opportunity to copy this message and send to the number 10 Down Street to the British Prime Minister, that they need to become proactive over the people of Southern Cameroon, as the French authority is dispatching their troops to the Southern Cameroon or to La Republique to direct La Republique how to carry on the genocide in the Southern Cameroon territory. I am here to let the people of the Great Britain that as you remain silent, the people are being murdered and are being burned. A grandmother, whom I still repeat her name, Mami Frida Dumu, burned alive in Bakundu. She didn't deserve this. The family deserved her life. She deserved to live up to the expectation that our Lord Jesus Christ, that who will deliver us here in this world, has a defined moment that we must live on this earth till the time he has visa for us to meet him wherever God is in heaven. But however, we have a people that has invaded the southern Cameroon territory. And that is why Mami Dumu, who has been burned alive, has to leave broadly to a newfound land that she doesn't deserve it. Because we have La République, an invader. But I am here to tell La République that your days may be numbered as those who are carrying on the orders, instruction from La République that is instigating and sending troops to destabilize the sovereignty of the southern Cameroon. That I am speaking here from the great state of Texas, from the government that I believe that they have authority and that they value human being and they value the dignity of a sovereign nation. And that is why I am speaking today to this great nation of the United States. United States doesn't make an error. And that is why I am focusing to the United States government. Because the people of Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. And therefore, by sending the troops of La République over the Southern Cameroon territory to invade the people and destabilize their sovereignty, and despite the fact that their independence was granted by the United Nations. However, they have deprived the people of Southern Cameroon, and now people are being burnt alive, like Mami Frida Dumu, who maybe, we don't know where she is, because she has been called upon by an abruptly invader, La République du Cameroun. I am speaking here from the great state of Texas because this is a nation that I love. This is a nation that stands for human freedom. This is a nation that stands for dignity of the free world. And therefore, if I am physically here in the United States, I am requesting the United States government under Bill Clinton acted against the brutality in the Kosovo crisis. The United States government under Bill Clinton stood with the people of the Kosovo and fight against the brutality. And that is why I am still calling on the United States that they still have more duty to perform over the people of Southern Cameroon. The people of Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. And this great state of United States or the United States government acted promptly and swiftly. They support the Southern Cameroon. They voted in the United Nations. And they also led a delegation to the Southern Cameroon in the 50s. They voted for the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon. And yet today, the Southern Cameroon has not been free. But today, people are being invaded in Southern Cameroon by La République. And one will ask whether does La République has any legal authority over the Southern Cameroon. You and I will agree that La République doesn't. But because the French authority has a veto power over United Nations, and that is why the Southern Cameroon are suffering. But I call on the people of Britain. I call on the British ambassador to the United Nations. They may remain silent, but the voice of the people will rise, and that it will bring this message to echo to their ear, and let them understand that the mission they have for the Southern Cameroon has not been accomplished. As a sovereign nation, British did not make a mistake, but I am here to echo this message, and that when you have a copy of this message, send to the King of England, send to the Queen of England, sent to the British Parliament, sent whatever department in the British Parliament, because this very message is being echoed here in the United States. While you live over there in the Britain, I wanted to take this message to the people of Parliament of the Great Britain that the mission they set for to accomplish has not finished. why the people of Southern Cameroon are being burnt alive. Mami Frida Ndumu did not deserve to be burnt alive. Mami Frida Ndumu did not deserve to be burnt alive. It's not only Mami Ndumu that being burnt alive. There are other people that I have posted their images on my Facebook today, and that they have been being killed, shot at random. The youth of their prime. You know, La Republique within the past 56 years of La Republique relationship with the Southern Cameroon has not been productive and efficiently. The people have gone to school. They don't have a duty, a job that they can stand for. They have chosen another method to sustain their life, and they've chosen the bike, motorcycle, as a means to help them move forward with their life. And so they struggle, borrow some money, and lend and buy a machine. Sometimes it's called a bike. And that is what they use for their local transportation, to make little money for their own benefit. And that they use as a means to support their family. But La Republique, an invader, has burned almost 20-something of those bikes. And that is not only just that, but there is continued brutality of the evil force of La Republique. And imagine this mother and these children that they have arrived at the age of their prime, and they found that their opportunity are being squandered by the evil force of La Republique. And one will agree with me, what relationship does we have with La Republique? It is absolutely disgusted when you find La Republique military carry on brutality against the citizens of the Southern Cameroon. And I am still calling on the U.S. Congress that it is not a time writing letters. We know you have writing several letters, and I know you have writing to all departments. But I am asking the U.S. Congress to take action from pen writing, from ink writing, to a more productive way, using any effort that you have. Because I understand that the United States government has the authority to do so for the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon, for the protection of the life of the people of Southern Cameroon. It is very, very unfortunate. I am referring to our leadership here in the United States. I understand that our Congress is a Congress that represents the aspiration of the people, and that the Congress has power to go beyond the United States. And that is why I am asking the U.S. Congress to act now rather than allow the brutality of people being murdered by the evil force of La Republique. Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. Their independence was granted. They shouldn't believe under this suffering and murder, a murder of being burned alive in our home. It's not the first case. It's not the first or the second case. It's not the third case. The entire village and the community has been burned down by La Republique. And yet one will ask me, La Republique president for 35 years without any meaningful election conducted by La Republique du Cameroon. The people of Southern Cameroon has enjoyed sound democracy. La Republique has not. La Republique, within the past 56 years, there has not been any conducted elective election proceed by La Republique in its entire territory, in the entire colonial of the French authority. France, rather than promote a quality, sound election in La Republique, France is that an explanatory against the people of Southern Cameroon. And I am here asking the United States government, because I will continue to echo these messages to the people of the United States, to the great people of these great nations, because God did not make a mistake to these United Nations to be the leaders of the free world. And if nations want to rise and stand against the evils, then I think United States should back those nations. And that is why I am presenting this case to my fellow Americans. I am presenting this case to the United States citizens, that as I speak, the major media will not talk about these issues, But however, I am bringing it because you can see sample on my Facebook. You can see sample on my YouTube. You can see sample on my Twitter account that I have exposed the evil deed of La République du Cameroon. The embassy that is here in the United States, they ought to be accountable of the injustice that are carried out by a free nation. If you are up and you have a means, I know many people on my Facebook, they have attached to the authority. I am bringing this case to that you use your position. Don't look at me, listen to what I said and act upon, because the government that I believe in the United States government, has the power to do so. And I understand that United States is not a government that I can be distrustful. It's the government that stands for unity. It's the government that stands for peace. It's the government that is governed by law. And the people of the Southern Cameroon deserve to have their sovereignty heard. And that is why I am to the not only the United States government, I also present this case to the people of the Great Britain, because they have a mission that they haven't accomplished. If France claims to have a veto power over the United Nations, I have a good news for you, that the people of Great Britain, whom I know, have also a veto power in the United Nations. Let the equal number be one, and we see where the people are living to. The people of the Southern Cameroon, the Federal Republic of Ambazonian, they deserve their voice be heard. It shouldn't be in this way. People shouldn't be burned by a neighbor that we don't have any relationship. The fact that we invite La République to be a friend of us does not give them the power to murder our people. And that is why I am speaking to the people of these great nations. I know as I'm speaking, the United Nations office physically here in the United States is paying a deaf ear. But I have a good news for you, that this case that I'm presenting to the United States government is a government that I believe, is a government that I trust, and it is in New York, the land where the rules and regulations are respected. Maybe they are not aware. I am asking the Attorney General of New York to investigate the United Nations. I am asking the Attorney General of the United States to investigate the United Nations as the people being murdered by the evil force of La République. And it is time for the United States government to act. It is time for the New York to act. It is time the governor of New York to act. Because as they allow this continue, the people are being murdered. I know you are listening. I know you are hearing. I know you are sharing. But let's take this sharing to a more productive action. Let's take this message to the right person, because I know they are listening, they are hearing, but they need to be more productive and act accordingly. The people want a freedom. They want a democracy. They can elect their individual representative. And their representative must be accountable to those who elect them. They don't want someone to be appointed by a certain individual whom they don't know their culture. Imagine I have someone over my family. They don't know the historical background of my family. And so someone within my home, within my community, knows me better. Let him lead me, and I have the power to tell him, you no longer need to lead me, because we have someone we can elect. And that election shall be counted. We don't want La République that are being elected or described by an appointed official, by La République or by French government. The people have the self-dignity to have their respect, honor, and that is why the people of Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. If the United Nations office here in New York is not aware of this reality, I am here echo this message, that take this message to Antonio Guterres. He may not be aware. He may have chosen by a certain group of individuals that lack the historical background of a certain community. But I'm asking the United States government, because I am speaking here from this great state of Texas. You know, the people of Southern Cameroon, they deserve their liberty. The people of Southern Cameroon, they deserve their freedom. The people of Southern Cameroon, they don't deserve to be manipulated. They don't deserve someone to tell them what they should and they shouldn't do. They shouldn't be appointed some individual that have laid no topography of the region in which they have been sent to govern. The people must elect their representative, and their representative should be within them that understand them. You know, the people of Southern Cameroon, they should be able to govern themselves. They have the populations, they have the economic structure, they have education, they have the leadership, they have everything they deserve, and they don't need a francophone to come and tell them what they should and shouldn't do, because they have military weapons. But the people of Southern Cameroon shall rise against any form of weapon, because the spirit of the Lord is with the people of Southern Cameroon, and they should stand firmly and let the Republic know that wherever they are in unity, and that is strong and become more like the rock of the Spirit of God. As the people stand together and they stand unified, they stand firmly and they stand together, as they join their hands bone to bone, and they shall tell the Republic that this is the era of no more, and that they shall stand and free from the aggressor. As the United Nations remains silent over the people of Southern Cameroon, I am here to let the United Nations understand that as I am physically here in the great country called United States, I must echo the voice of my people to the government of the United States, that as they remain silent, people of the Southern Cameroon are being brutally murdered by a government that has no legal authority over the people of Southern Cameroon. They don't. This, I keep on pointing out. I keep on showing this. This is a legal document that respects the sovereignty of the people of Southern Cameroon. And we have been requesting United Nations office here under Antonio Guterres that remain silent, because the government that I believe, the government of the United States, the government that I stand for human dignity, the government that stands for unified and individual seeking freedom. If the United States stand for their freedom, then they stand, God gave them the leadership to stand against any other nations that can stand and seek for freedom. And that is why the representative of the United States, during the discussion about the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon, acknowledged the problem, and he stood firmly and said the people of Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. And I believe the current government should recognize that the people in the 60s, 50s did not make a mistake about the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon. And therefore, I'm calling on the government of the United States to stand firmly and let the Republic understand that the people of Southern Cameroon deserve their sovereignty. Why United Nations is still busy, rather to convene an emergency meeting, discuss the crisis of Southern Cameroon, they remain silent. Because a Secretary General was in La République and he was awarded a gold medal. When a leadership of the free world neglect and rather than accept the reality and tell the reality to the people concerned, and in failure to do so, the genocide becomes the outcome of that. And that is why the people of Southern Cameroon is now become the land of the genocide. because a certain individual heading United Nations, physically in the United States, has failed in his obligations. But I have a good news that the government of the United States, the government that I believe, shall exercise their authority over the leadership of the United Nations. You can't imagine in the 50s, in the 60s, when there was a crisis, the United Nations sent a representative to investigate, and they sent to the area concerned, and they investigate and come out a prompt response. That was the United Nations I think of. That was the United Nations that was formed. That was the United Nations. The goal was to make sure that peace and security are maintained in the rest of the world. But the current United Nations in its form, in its structure, and led by a scammer. I will not hesitate to call the United Nations leadership as a scammer, because as they fail to lead to its obligation, that is where the humanitarian crisis comes in. When people are being murdered by a brutal dictatorship for a nation that's seeking for freedom, United Nations fail to act because they believe that they're gonna change, because a dictator will always remain a dictator. A dictator will always remain a dictator. No matter the circumstances, no matter the request, no matter the change the people ask for, they will still remain the brutal dictatorship. But the Southern Cameroon, the people whom I believe, and the people that grew up in Anglo-Saxon way of life, believe that a government must be accountable, and that the people must be able to rise and tell the government that is not accountable that they don't need to be functioning, and they have the power to vote that government out. And that has been the freedom of the people. United States, the great nations of United States, the great nations of us, has exercised this for the past how many years? 200 and something years, because they have a constitution that everyone is bound by the constitution. But with the French dictatorship system of government, that they practice the civil law, they don't think about constitution. They think it's a window document that just been pierced for a general consumption, and that no one respects it, because those above, or those dictatorships are above the constitution, and that constitution is bound only to those are submissive to them. But I am here to speak to this great nation of the United States that stand against the freedom of the people of Southern Cameroon. Stand against the freedom of the people of Southern Cameroon as they arise and seek for freedom. Freedom must prevail, and that they must stand together and ask La République to vacate the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon, and that the people that are languishing in Nigeria can now return home and feel the freedom of living in the harmony of their brothers and sisters. You know, it is very unbelievable. It is very unbelievable. It is absolutely. It is absolutely unbelievable. It's, you know, when people cannot find their freedom, when people cannot move in a liberty, because they have La République military wing that continue harassing the peace-loving people of Southern Cameroon. You know, if United Nations is made up of nuisance that they have in their mind is not functioning properly, they should have realized that the document that was granted in a plenary session in April 21st at New York here in the United States, recognize that 64 nations voted for the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon as a sovereign nation. But yet the people are not free. Yet the people are now being going through excruciating murdering by the evil force of La Republique because they believe that they have control over the Southern Cameroon. I have a good news. I am telling the United States government, because it's the government that I believe, if the U.S. ambassador in La Republique is not able to relay exactly accurate information, then we need a new ambassador in the Southern Cameroon, because they must be able to be accountable but the United States government, because the United States government depend on the accuracy of the information that is coming from the La Republique, because United States government is a trusted government. United States government is a government that is living by the laws and regulations. It is time that I'm asking that the ambassador to be able to relate exactly what is happening in the Southern Cameroon territory, because the United States government is a government that I believe, is a government that I trust, is a government that has the power to do so and that liberate the freedom of people of Southern Cameroon. The U.S. representative in the 50s did not make an error. United States representative in the 50s did not make an error by voting as a sovereignty, recognizing the Southern Cameroon as a sovereign nation. The Queen of England did not need subvention to provide to the people of Southern Cameroon during the 50s. They recognized that they were a prosperous nation. They respect the sound democracy, and they want to continue with this pathway. And so I'm asking the United States, if the ambassador in Cameroon, in La Republique, is not able to relate this information, I believe we have available ambassadors that are here, that are able to talk exactly the genocide that is going to the Southern Cameroon territory. That is a duty of the United States, to stand firmly against the brutal and evil force. God gave United States. God did not make a mistake. God did not make a mistake and give the leadership of the world to the United States. And that is why I happen to be one of the citizens here in these great nations. But when I believe that my people back home shouldn't be in this way, because I believe in the United States government. I believe in the rule of law. I believe that's what the Southern Cameroon want. I believe that the leadership of Southern Cameroon do not believe in a military wing. They believe that they have the right to their freedom. And that is why I am presenting this case to the United States government. I am presenting this case to the leadership of the United States government. I am presenting this to the Tilson, the Secretary of State, because he has the power to do so. I am presenting this case to U.S. Department of Defense, because they have the duty to do so. If the United States stand today and let La Republique, that the people of Southern Cameroon, whom I have voted as a sovereign nation in the 50s, remain the same. And that is why I am asking the United States government to stand for its obligation. The United Nations hasn't delivered the goal it was intended to do, because it has been headed by a group of scammers that they has no legal and obligation to their job description. And that is why you find genocide happen within the minority group. Because if this was in Iran, then it should have been all over the media. If it should have been it should have been all flooded around the media. But today, no single news is being reported. I have at least genocide, murdering that is going on. But I believe that the United States government is the government that I trust. It's the government that I believe. And I believe they can take action against the enemy that is reigning the people of Southern Cameroon. Because the United States government did not make a mistake to vote the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon. And I am calling on the British Embassy, rather than going through the process, I believe that the British Embassy here in the United States, British government, the number 10 Down Street, has a duty to present this case, that the people whom I thought can live together with La Republique hasn't, and that they need their sovereignty. And I am still here, and the United Kingdom can still back this, and they have to do this, and without a condensed delay. It is very unimaginable. It is very unimaginable. It is very imaginable. It is very imaginable. I mean, it is really, really disgusting. If a nation has the leadership and the people has exercised this their obligation that they don't deserve La Republique, and yet the leadership of the Southern Cameroon, people that were born in the Southern Cameroon, La Republique has no legal authority. And as I'm speaking, if anyone that is still residing in the Southern Cameroon territory and that believe that he was appointed by La Republique, I am asking that you pack your luggage and get out of the Southern Cameroon territory, because we shall not accept you until you discard La Republique and live in the Southern Cameroon and govern by the rules binding the Southern Cameroon, and that you shall not receive any instruction from La Republique, and that it should be applied to the Southern Cameroon territory, because we shall come after you and we shall let you understand that the people of Southern Cameroon has rise and they stand firm, and that they will protect their sovereignty. La Republique need to protect its territory and not the Southern Cameroon, because the people of Southern Cameroon care about the life of the people of the Southern Cameroon. If Mami Frida was burned alive, we would have been sitting in an immediate session in the Southern Cameroon Parliament discussing about the issue how Mami Frida was burned alive. But because La Republique is the occupier, Mami Frida's his death will never be remembered. Mami Frida, his death will never be remembered. But I have a good news that I will continue to echo Mami Frida and the rest that are Southern Cameroon, that they have been giving their life for the freedom of Southern Cameroon, that they must rise. If they have been burnt alive, their ashes shall rise and bless the people of Southern Cameroon. As the Southern Cameroon stays stronger, they shall stand firmly. They will unite as a one people, one brother, one sister, and fight the enemies of La Republique, and that the Southern Cameroon shall be the conqueror. The arches of Mami Frida, the arches of those who have sacrificed, the blood drain that has zipped out of the people of Southern Cameroon shall stand and water the people of the Southern Cameroon, and they shall be strong, and that they shall be able to defend their territory, and that the evil force of La Republique, I understand that La Republique is traveling to Ghana to seek for medicine to fight the Southern Cameroon. I have a good news that the blood that is seeping out of the people of Southern Cameroon, and the blood shall be able to be the stream and the shield of the people of Southern Cameroon, and they shall be able to overcome their enemy. That the blood of the Mami Frida and the burnt ashes of Mami Frida shall rise as a dust and shall shield the people of Southern Cameroon as they began to stand for their freedom. And I'm asking United Nations once more that the legal document that allows the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon need to be released immediately and stop the genocide that is going on in the Southern Cameroon territory. I am conveying this message to the United States government because they have a duty that by Monday, phone call from the U.S. Congress, phone call from the Secretary of State asking United Nations to release the document for the Southern Cameroon and that they shall be able to defend their territory, because we don't want to go this into a military, because it's already a military genocide against the people of Southern Cameroon. But however, I am asking the U.S. Congress, I am asking the U.S. Senate, I'm asking the U.S. government, I'm asking the Secretary of State, I am asking the U.S. Department of Defense, that I happen to be one of the sons of this territory that genocide is being going on. And how long should the United States? I am asking the United States government to help the innocent people against the evil dictatorship. Brutal dictatorship is never allowed. And we, the people, are asking the United States government that we are here all over the world. And we are asking U.S. because U.S. has the power to protect the innocent. And because if United Nations has acted properly, Mami Frida actually would not have been burnt. Mami Frida will still be alive. Just as many others that are being killed clandestinely by La Republique. What does La Republique need from the Southern Cameroon? They need to occupy their territory. They need to be answerable to France because they are the colonial master. They don't need to control the people of Southern Cameroon because the people of Southern Cameroon is a sovereign nation. I will continue to stand and I will advocate for the freedom of Southern Cameroon. As I'm speaking, I am speaking to the government that I believe. I'm speaking to the government that I trust. I understand that the United States can do it. They have done it and they can still repeat and do it. Do it for the humanitarian. Do it for the dignity of the people. And thank you so much, United States government. I want to take a moment to thank all of you that are watching. I know we have a duty to do something. I know we can do it. I know we can prevent the Southern Cameroon genocide. I am calling on all citizens of the Southern Cameroon that you need to join, that we must stand out against brutal evil force. I know we are capable. We may think that we are not, but we have, because God has instilled the power on us, that we are the visionaries of the people of Southern Cameroon, and that we all are the ambassador, that wherever you are, you still an ambassador of the Southern Cameroon. If you were born in Southern Cameroon, and now you have been dispatched somewhere, God did not make a mistake that recognized you as an ambassador of Southern Cameroon, that wherever you are, you stand as an ambassador of Southern Cameroon, and that the people of Southern Cameroon believe that we all collectively can do something. But when we all sit and ignore because we want to preserve our dignity, I have a good news that the people of Southern Cameroon, the spirit of the land shall hunt all of us if all of us do not stand for the freedom and understand that the peace and security can prevail in the Southern Cameroon if all of us collectively out as a one and a unified identity. Our people will one day stand firm and say, oh, our nation is free, and that we can have a government that represents the people of Southern Cameroon, and that each of us shall not be carried to Yaoundé to decide on a document. Why Boya is the shortest distance to us, and that the people speak the same language, the government speak the same language, and that you should not be recognized that ce sont les anglophones qui viennent ici, ce sont les Nigériens qui viennent ici, ce sont les... I know you haven't heard it, but you, as you have traveled to Yaoundé, you must have heard this word. And you haven't felt the pain as I am feeling. And that is why I am bringing this case to the people of the government of the United States, because it's the government that I believe that they can do something. Maybe La Republique think they are supreme, but they can never be supreme against the wishes of the people, because when the people stand together firmly, no one shall be above the people. An individual shall not stand against the will, no matter the mighty guns of the Republic shall not come up destroy the people of the Southern Cameroon, but the people of Southern Cameroon are victorious, and they shall overcome the enemies of La Republique. And once more again, I said, anyone from La Republique that has been appointed by La Republique and is currently Southern Cameroon, that he has an authority designated by La Republique, I have a good news for you. The people that I believe has the power over who is appointed over the Southern Cameroon. And that individual need to start leaving Southern Cameroon as I end this message and back to La Republic, because we shall not take yes for the yes, no for the no, because the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon shall not be negotiable. I want to take a moment to thank you. I don't want to take entire Sunday, but I shall be coming to you and to let you know that we all have a collective duty over the sovereignty of Southern Cameroon. And I want to take a moment to thank you so much. And we are going to do this because we all can do this. And we all can achieve this goal if all of us stand together. And I want to take a moment to thank you all for taking time to watch. I know many of you have been able, but I know we have a guest that was supposed to join us. Unfortunately, that communication did not get through, but I will be bringing her in subsequent time as we identify the problems that is affecting the connection system. However, I want to thank Doris, Nick, for agreeing to be on our air, but unfortunately we couldn't get her up on the air. But I apologize for that, but we were looking forward how we can identify the problem and rectify it so that we don't have any problem. And if you are an audience, you want to speak to me or you want to join me, let me know and we will gonna arrange when it is convenient. I want to take a moment to thank you. I want to take a moment to thank the United States government that the time is now to act and support the citizens of Southern Cameroon and that they have rise to stand for their freedom. And I know and I believe that the United States government is a government that represents the aspiration of people that are seeking freedom. And that is why I am thanking the United States government. They should do something and do it now, because the murdering of the people, innocent people, like Mama Frida Ndumu, who was burned alive, is still echo in me, and it will continue echo with me, and it will continue echo to everyone that was born in Southern Cameroon. Once again, I want to thank you so much for watching and have a great Sunday. God bless.